today. Everybody ready for Super Bowl? And my day is already starting off with a splash. I just dumped my hot chocolate all over my desk and my legs. Yeah, it was not nice. So I'm sitting here, I'm trying to clean up while just trying to get this started. So, not having a good start to this stream. But welcome in, anyways. You guys all ready for the big game? You guys got food, snacks, whatever? Let me know what you're gonna eat or just have snack on. I've got carne asada set up. I'm gonna make myself some carne asada tacos, maybe something else. But I'm gonna make a few little snacks and stuff for the game. Just hanging out for the day. Don't have anybody coming over. It's just me, myself, and I. Well, the wife too. She's actually the football fan, not me. Besides, the teams playing today don't really mean much to me. So, anyways, welcome to the stream. Today was going to talk about leaks, detecting leaks. Here's a good example. If I can figure out how to use my damn computer again. We got leaks. This is not ours. I just found this on YouTube. But anyways, I got a call yesterday, or sorry, Friday. Sitting at home, and I got called up to go help out a crew that needed help with doing some backfill on a little project. And luckily enough, it's close to home. It was supposed to be an easy day. They're searching for a leak on a 24-inch fire line at a warehouse facility. Can't tell you who it's for. But anyways, they been potholing and digging all over the place looking for a leak in this line. It's a pressurized system, fire system that holds pressure all the time. They have boost pumps, and the reason they know the line is leaking is two reasons. One, they've already fixed one leak, and that's because the water was boiling up out of the asphalt and running down the ditch into a drain inlet. So what they did is they dig it up, they find the leak, they repair it, bury it, patch it, and they're done. But the system pump still keeps kicking on. So they have a pump that will maintain the pressure for the fire system. So if there's ever a fire, they kick on, there's already pressure in the line, immediate water on demand. And then the generator will kick on, or the pump will kick on and supply more pressure and keep the water system pressurized until fire and whatnot arrive. There's a whole alarm system on it and everything that notifies a department within the fire that will send out emergencies to local police and fire departments to say, hey, there's a fire here. Everyone rushes along with whoever's on staff can call that in. But in the evening when there's no one working or weekends, they have the fire alarms that are automatic and send off the signal. So the whole thing is detecting, how do we find our leaky pipes. I've got a video here. I haven't watched it yet myself. It is 44 seconds. Let me get it primed up for you, and then we will take a gander at it. All right, we'll hit play. Do we have sound on this? Okay, commercial for a company. Free advertising. There you go. So that shows that they have methods to be able to search for and locate underground leaks. With there are several devices where we can trace a line if we know there's a leak in a certain area by closing valves off and whatnot. You can kind of isolate the water system to a certain area so you know it's somewhere in this area that there's a leak. Now, oh, dig in good there. That way you have less search area. Now, the problem with fire lines is they typically do not have a bunch of valves on them. One job that we did do for a company at a warehouse distributor, they actually um, opted not to put. We recommended putting valves in so far. Now, this is a huge building. To walk around the building is 1 mile in distance to go all the way around. That's how much pipe is in the ground. They only had 2 valves. So to isolate this, you would only be able to isolate half of a building, half of a mile of pipe. It's not ideal if there is a leak to find. So you just do the best you can. Hopefully, water springs up somewhere, and then you got to start chasing it from there. Other than that, there are ways. They have cameras like infrared cameras or stuff like that, so you can see temperature differences in the surface. So if you know where your line is buried, you can use an IR to search, or infrared, or color differentials to see the temperatures on the ground. And typically the water is going to make the ground a little bit colder, so you know that there's something there causing it to be cold, most likely water running through the ground and cooling off the ground. So that's one way of doing it. The other one is just locate the pipe with a locator. So we have wires, locating wire, tracer wire that goes on top of the pipe. You hook up a small electrical charge to it, and there's a handheld device in which can pick up those electrical fields are on that wire, so you can trace that pipe, put some paint down on the ground. Now what you do is you find a bell, and then you just dig every 20 feet, hopefully finding every bell along the way, seeing if the bells are leaking or not. Now if there's a crack in the pipe between the bells, then it's just like every bell you dig up, hopefully you see water moving coming out of the trench water. So you'll have the trench here and water will be running. So we've dug around the pipe, around the bell, looking to see there's no leak at the bell, but there's water coming in through the rock or ground from one side. So you know to search in that direction. So those are some indications that help you locate pipe or locate leaks in pipes. Now, I do have some video. Now my desk is sticky. Everything is sticky. God, I'm an idiot. I had to put my hot chocolate right there in the middle of my keyboard, and I just went. All right, back to it. Back to it. Back to it. Getting distracted here. All right, so I got a short. Let me see a picture. Yeah, so let me throw this up over here. Always click on the wrong thing there. So here, what we've got is just we're just doing some potholing. So we have done other potholes. They were searching on the other side at a different building, and these are FDCs, fire. They're for fires. Another company came in, replaced all of these because they thought they were leaking, and at the end of the day, just after lunch, we found this spot here. There was a depression here. There's some cracks around where the previous company had backfilled and the ground had recessed. So the compaction was garbage. Now, we know that the ground was wet and soft to walk on. So we knew something was up and making the ground that way. So we decided to do another pothole here, and we started searching. And here is a 90-degree bend that's in that location. This is a thrust block right here, so that's concrete. pipe coming in. Now this is old pipe. So what we've got here are megalug, or sorry, these are not megalugs. These are mechanical joints, MJs. They do not have the megalug locker that comes in from the sides and clamps onto the pipe. So these are the old style that really don't get used much anymore. We don't have anything leaking here from these fittings, but when we shut off the vacuum pump, you could see water coming in from under the pipe over on this side, on the left side here. And it was running in, and you could hear a hissing sound. Shh. So we knew we were in the right place, finally found the right location. And yes, we're using water to locate a water leak. But you will find it if there's a water leak. So you can see here's the machine. This is the sprayer, and it spins around in circles, dissolving basically the ground. And you can see how that's working. And now over here, come on, stop, pause. Where is it? Come on, you stupid thing. Okay. Can I zoom in? No, it's not letting me zoom in. All right, anyways, right up here, there's so this is an MJ, and then we have a Megalug here. The Megalug is a newer style, and it's connected to the FDC, which is now over here, just over here. And so that's the repair section. So we know this is old, and this is new on the upper side here, where they replace the FDC. And this is just a fire shutoff valve, and it has a little indicator window in there that says off or on, or open and closed. And that allows water to flow to the buildings. And let me see here. So basically, once we got this pretty much done, he had gotten down to this point, and he paused for a minute, lifted up the boom. I could see fresh water running out even harder from underneath the Megalug system over here, and you could really hear it. So the leak is either occurring at this Megalug, or it is occurring at the FDC, which should be a flange to a Megalug fitting. So what you have is the FDC with a T valve, and then it usually has a flat face on it. So you have two flat faces with a gasket in the middle that seals together. If these don't get bolted up tight enough, you don't get them torqued down, then it can leak out those fittings. Hopefully, so what we're hoping is that the bolt up was actually loose, that they had like an electric impact gun that had a dead battery or a low battery and wasn't getting full torque on it. And with that, if it's leaking out of that, all we do, we shut down, drain all the water, we loosen all the bolts, pull the old gasket out, put a new gasket in, re-torque everything down, get it all nice and tight, turn the water back on. If it doesn't leak, we have solved the problem in the easiest way fashion, just by replacing a gasket. Now, if it's leaking from the Megalug, we now have to take the Megalug off because the gasket in there is obviously leaking. Something was done wrong. We have to cut it out. We've got to replace a lot of stuff, pull everything out so we can get back in there and put all these parts back in. So also, the compaction that was done around this site area was not that great. Everything just, once we started taking material out, the material just kept caving in and covering up what we were trying to uncover. And there's a crack in it that goes all the way around exactly where the previous company had dug. And from what I was told, the company that did the work on replacing the FDC and everything left and hired a subcontractor to backfill. Whew, I can't tell you how many reasons that's wrong, or how many reasons why that is so wrong. But okay, that's all I've got on there. So with that, that basically was the end of our day. The vacuum truck had filled up and was full of material from vacuuming the other hole and getting this one vacuumed up. We just put plates over it and called it a day. And I went home, I think at 1:30 or something like that on a Saturday. So I got some overtime, some free overtime there, which was nice. So next week, I won't be back on that, so I won't know what happens. I won't get to see the final results from all that. The cool thing is that I know the guys that will. Hopefully, I can get them to send me some pictures. I am sticky, sticky, sticky. Oh God. So did I have anything else? Oh yeah. So do I have the video? I do have the video. Okay, cool. So compaction, since we were just talking a little bit about compaction, now this comes down to when equipment gets delivered to you, you got to make sure you inspect your equipment when it shows up, because you'll find stuff like this. That ain't supposed to do that. Compaction wheels are not supposed to be wiggly wobbly. So I took that video to send it off to the office because this was the first time I had picked up the wheel and immediately knew what was wrong with it. The main bearing in it, gone. So no bushings, no bearings. And there's a picture of it right there. There's not supposed to be a gap in here. None of this material is supposed to be worn off. So they're going to have to basically disassemble this entire wheel, weld in a new bearing, bushing, whatever, and rebuild this whole thing, and then drill out a hole, reassemble everything. It's a $8,000 charge to the job site that this happened on. And when it shows up on our job site, and we have a delivery inspection where we inspect the machines. We don't always inspect the compaction wheels. Well, if you don't inspect your compaction wheel when it shows up to your job, now this goes for bigger companies and how depending on how they operate and charge jobs. Like for our company, we charge the job that whatever failed, the job gets charged for those repairs. So we're always fighting to try to whenever there's a failure, we try to get it charged to the previous job. The previous job's trying to pawn it off on the next job. So that's how that all works. It sucks, but that's the way it is. So now we're in a process of trying to figure out who needs to pay for that repair. Our oiler um, guy, he backtracked where the wheel came from, what job it was on, and all that. And if it was on his job, so the office is saying, well, it was on your job last, and he traced down all the deliveries and said, well, it was on my job for 2 days, and that didn't happen in 2 days. And even talking with the foreman that it was on, he said that they never even picked the wheel up to even discover it, so they didn't do the delivery inspection either. So on the wheel at least, you may do it on the machine, but typically we don't check buckets and wheels and all that stuff on pre-delivery. Might have to start really getting into doing that. Tran, you say you have good news. Okay, dude, spit it out. Don't wait for me to ask. I can put it up there on the chat so I can read it. If you got something to say, spit it out, boy. All right, so nope, nope. I've got another video. No, you're not unemployed anymore. Dude, cool. That is nice. What are you doing? What is your job? Are you working at a bowling alley? That was my my first employment outside of, say, uh, something my mom got work for me. My first non-construction job. Uh, Nails and manicures. Are you serious, dude? Nails and manicures? That is kind of like a weird thing to do. Not knocking it. If you making money doing it, dude, honest money's honest money. So you do what you got to do to survive, make money, buy the things you want. If that's what it is. All right, not something I would have picked. But if you know you're in a anybody, if you're in the way that you need money, you do whatever you have to do, even if it's outside of your wheelhouse of what you want to do. Um, Sometimes it's stuff you have to do. Just don't get yourself keyholed into doing it the rest of your life, because I mean, I don't know what to say about it, dude. Not nothing. All I hear is I think some of the funniest stories that I hear are these people now that get these translation earbuds, and they go in, and women go into the manicurist, and now they can understand what the people are saying about their nails and feet to the other girls because they're speaking a different language, and now they're appalled at what they hear their manicures say about their feet and nails and stuff like that. Apparently, there's some disgusting people out there. I know my wife, she has issues with her nails, her toenails, they grow in and they have to dig them out. It's pretty I don't even like doing it. She asked me to take care of that stuff. We got some special clippers and stuff, but she lets them go too long all the time. So, I got one other video here. This is an advertisement for JCB. I am a anti JCB person. They're great machines. They have a purpose, but this commercial was designed specifically for JCB in a way to make the JCB backhoe front loader look like it's an amazing machine. So let me pull that commercial up for you, and we'll watch this together, and I'll talk to you through this. Okay, obviously it's Christmas time because we got Christmas music playing in the background. So JCB employee, probably very good on the machine, top-notch operator, breaking out a newspaper to see who knows what. Nice background, shiny rig, windows are all nice and clean. So this is depicting that the backhoe, the JCB, drove itself to the job site. That's not how it works. So we've got a Takeuchi with the labeling removed off of it, so you don't see it, so you don't know what brand machine is, but it's a Takeuchi. So what we're going to do is we're going to have ourselves a good old-fashioned dig off. So a couple of things here I want you to notice as we're going. So we've got dirt that's been dug in 100 times. This is probably some kind of a training facility so that they're using. They've got areas coned off. We got two grade setters here, or grade checkers, that are going to check grade, and they're just standing there not doing a damn thing. I don't really see them. Well, okay, they're bumping in, making sure. Take notice here. Excavator, nice straight ditch. Yeah, we have a cave in, but we're not worried about that because this isn't something we deal with. This would be a different situation. The JCB, holy crap, dude. We're digging a bow and arrow here. I mean, come on. Where's the straight line? And we're at the end. They both finish about the same time. Let's backfill. JCB pushes and back dragged and is done. This is not how. If you're using a mini excavator, it's for a different reason. Now, this is a definite advantage for a JCB. Now, if you've got a mini excavator, you're more than likely going to have another machine on the job that's going to be unloading this stuff for you. While the JCB is now stuck unloading material off the truck, yes, it does it faster, and then the little excavator can do it. The problem is the excavator, if you had a secondary machine there that was designed for a loader that was designed doing all the offloading and everything, the mini excavators out there digging ditch and making money while the JCB has to stop digging it to unload the truck. So I'm still going to give that to the mini excavator. Depict on moving from one location to another. True facts there. Again, situation. Now, one of the things I want you to notice, the size of this work area. Look how big this work area is. So they did a standing start here. Um, Off camera, they both started side by side. JCB takes off, starts scooping dirt to load up a truck. Same thing, mini tracks off 3 miles an hour. That's as fast as these as excavators travel. Some of them slower, even in rabbit mode. JCB probably top speed is probably around 35 miles an hour. And they did a couple of little step ups here in time. Operator. Now, if we're running an excavator loading a truck, you're swapping your bucket to a larger bucket. You're not going to use your little digging bucket to load a vehicle. You're going to have a larger bucket, like a 3 foot, 4 foot bucket that you can use to scoop with. Yay, puts his bucket up. Okay, attachments. White flag. It this is for a large scale job site. The mini excavator is not a dude, put your equipment on the freaking ground. Oh my god, I just noticed that. Symbolizing dusting you out. So the mini excavator, again, in certain situations, if you're working in tight, constrained areas, the JCB is not the right choice. The mini excavator is the right choice. But on larger scale projects where you're moving around a lot, have a lot of distance to cover, and there's a lot of space to work in, the JCB is the choice to have. So it all depends on the situation of the job that you're in to make the equipment choice. And we do that on every project. And most of the times, our equipment that we use, we have fairly large loaders. If we've got a large scale job site, we're getting a big giant loader that has a big bucket on it. Even though later on it's going to become problematic, we still going to bring in the big girl because it's easier to get things done. So that's all I've got for videos there. Get off there. Okay, back to Tran. There are you and me share the common thing. I am also a anti JCB fan. I really like Cat, John Deere, and Komatsu. 3 good standard choices, and those are not bad machines. The Cats, again, that is just stay away from Kobelco if possible. Kobelcos are garbage. They do their job, but they're all problematic. And I'm on another Kobelco 350 out on my project, which is one I'm very familiar with. The machine, anyways. We've had it since it was new. It showed up on one of my previous projects. It now has around 3,000 or 2,300 hours, close to 3,000 hours on it. Still runs the same. It's because they don't come out and the mechanics have not how calibrated the hydraulic system to be to do what they're to make sure it's smooth and everything's working the way it's supposed to be working. And that was the problem with that 500 on that other project that we did, that the mechanic came out and found out that the pumps weren't flowing at the right flow rate and wound up fixing a lot of the issues that I felt the Kobelco had. Now, if they do this with every single Kobelco that they purchase and bring out to the job site, I think the machines would be much better, much smoother, and easier to operate and more productive. Because if they're not running at full flow rates at the not recommended, but at the operational limits where they're supposed to be at, then you're leaving power speed on the table and you're losing money. You're not getting the full performance out of the machine. Yes, I ran a Cat 385 for a season for about 5 or 6 months. Enormous machine. I have photos of it. I don't have any video of it because this was back in 1990. This is back like, no, it was 2002, 2003 is when I ran it. And basically, it was a 385 with a longer, a medium-sized reached stick on it. So the stick was quite a bit longer. This is a 365. So, but it had same standard boom, but a longer stick on it. Uh, Tons of power, very fast machine. Did not have a quick connect on it, which made us have to go to old school bucket changing where you actually take these pins, was it the pins right here on the bucket, you have to pull the bolt out and push the pin out of the bucket to release it from the machine, and then you put the other bucket, line up the holes and put the pin back in. Now these pins on a 385 are about 350 pounds a piece, so you need another machine to pick the pin up, line it up with the hole, and then a third machine to push that freaking pin in, because you're not pushing it in. So it is an ordeal to change buckets the old school way by repinning them. So you pull the pins out, move it over to the next bucket, get it all the holes lined up, put the pin in, grease it, and all that stuff. It's a pain in the butt to do, but it's the way it used to be, and before we had quick connects. But once quick connects came out, they started putting them on everything. All right. Well, I think that's about it. I don't know. I may actually play a game or do some streaming during coming up to the Super Bowl today. Don't know that I'm actually going to watch the game. I'll probably check on it every once in a while. Maybe I'll even throw it on my side screen while I'm playing a game or something. So I may stream a little bit later today just to hang out because I will be bored because I don't care about the football game. The only thing I care about on Super Bowl Sunday are the commercials, as I'm one of those people. So I'm not a big gamer. But again, that's right, Trent. You have a Model 385. I don't have one of those yet. I've got the 365. I've got a 5150. Nope, 5110. Something, a big one back here behind me. And my little backhoe, which has the front loader attachment or the picking point for picking up pipe and things like that on it today. So, Tran, thanks for showing up. You showed up. You show up every week, bud. Thanks for showing up. For all you, anyone else that manages to find the channel, Tran, if you can, share my frickin' channel on your interwebs, however you share stuff, so that way maybe some of your friends will find my channel and subscribe. So, anyways, thanks for showing up. I'm gonna get some wet naps and clean my desk and computer and get things cleaned up so I'm not so sticky when I play later. All right, bud. Thanks for showing up. And oh God, I can't talk now. As always, keep your butt level and your ditch straight, unlike that JCB operator. Thanks for hanging out.